Let's start this review off with a cake analogy. Why? Because everyone loves cake. And what does everyone hate? A cake with a soggy bottom. And that's exactly what Yacht Club Games thought, because they put the mouse back in the oven to cook more until it was ready to consume. And boy, was it the right decision, because Mina the Hollower is a game that kept me coming back for slices time and time again. I want to thank Yacht Club Games for providing me with a Steam code for the game ahead of release, and I apologise in advance if they thought they were getting a thespian-esque review. Now let's get the obvious out the way. Does it look like Zelda Oracle games to the Game Boy Color? Yes. Is that a bad thing? No, because f*** me, those games are awesome. Mina the Hollower lines up the Zelda nostalgia so hard my member berries are screaming at me. Want more? Course you do. Like Bloodborne? Course you do. Well, Mina the Hollower takes its Zelda framework and drips it with a Bloodborne's buttery feel, which makes me tingle all over like when I see The Rock walking down to fight John Cena. Even in the opening cinematic and music take me back to when I was a child playing Super Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo. The gothic Victorian feel of the city at the centre of it all, Ossax, takes you back to when our primary school had us studying the Victorian era, except it was not filled with monsters and mice with no pants on. And all this for the price of $19.99. You play as Mina, a brilliant mouse inventor summoned to an island by its overseer, Baron Lionel. Whoa, 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 what is that I see? That's water. IGN, 7 out of 10, too much water. When the island's 6 magical spark generators mysteriously go out, plunging the land into darkness and monsters, Mina must venture out to restore them. The island and the world of Mina is so bright and inviting even though it's in the place of night. She is a mouse after all. The world is so fun to play and get lost in, with lots of diverse areas and tons of NPCs to chat up. At the start of the game, Mina has the choice of 1 of 3 weapons to choose from, each play completely differently. I started with twin blades so I could bring out my inner Link, but I could have also picked a hammer or a whip. Hang on, a whip? Creepy vibes? Konami, if you are listening to this, put on Mina's skin for your new Castlevania game. Don't think you're missing out though, as later in the game you'll be able to buy those 2 other weapons and 2 additional weapons, and you're getting the ability to upgrade each weapon with an additional skill. So this means you already have 5 different ways to play the game. And we have sub-weapons. Konami, brah. Of course you've got your axe, a boomerang knife, which does not make sense. Now I can use that as an Australian. Even a bike that explodes on impact with enemy. Now aside from weapons, the main gimmick Mina has to burrow into the ground. Look at that, a typical woman just running away from responsibility.
Dad, you're not allowed to say that.
Go see your mother. Now trust me when I say, this burrowing mechanic is going to be your best friend. Better than your dog, better than your partner. To start burrowing, you hold A and Mina will jump and go underground at amazing speed. You can use it to dodge enemy strikes, find bones in the ground, jump over distances and picking up items, sneaking into the club like who needs ID these days. The other equipable item are trinkets, which each give their own ability, which could be becoming a magnet for anything on the ground, increased attack, increased defense, or the poo trinket, the greatest of them all. Like I use this poo trinket a lot because it lets you collect 4 flies to surround me at once and use them as a pseudo attacking shield. And there are so many trinkets to collect, and as you go through the game you'll be able to equip more than one, allowing for several combinations to suit your playstyle. Now when Mina's health is low, she can use the vials from the plasma of enemies. But here's the kicker, how much you get back depends on how full that yellow plasma bar is, in which you build up smacking the enemies. So if the yellow bar is low, you can barely get any health back, so sitting back and running is not really going to work, you coward. And man will you be fighting in this game. Mina the Hollower has lots of different enemies, each with their own attack patterns which you've got to learn, and like the Souls games, those enemies can overwhelm you quickly. I couldn't believe how many enemies could be on screen at once without any slowdown, up to 120 frames per second. Suck it, Dark Souls. Each screen feels like its own gauntlet where you have to master it to get through unscathed, or you can just run like the wind to find the next burrow. And you probably sit in your burrow for as much as you can because this game is difficult, so be warned. Enemies hit hard and will track your movements extremely well. With large gaps between the safety of your burrows, you're going to need to study the area well and be prepared to die, and die some more until you finally succeed. This game has nearly 30 bosses and each of them can suck my mother dick. I love the bosses here, they're challenging, fun, and will change their attack patterns or appearance around the halfway mark. One of the first bosses you fight is a living statue, which I thought was relatively easy, even with the arrows coming at me all sodding directions. However, it then turned into an octopus-like creature and the challenge went up a notch. I love games which give me amazing bosses and challenge me so much that I can put a walnut between my arse cheeks and give you hazelnut cream. And the music in this game goes so goddamn hard. At no point did my wife tell me to shut the goddamn door. The music drills in my ear so hard that I'm already looking for orchestral versions. Now, Capcom, if you're listening, remember Mega Man X? Remember that soundtrack? Well, if you have a new Mega Man game coming out, hint hint, get hiring. Now, like all Souls-esque games, you need a currency. And for Mina the Hollower, currency in this game are the bones of your enemies. They're not the souls, they're bones, you sick freak. These bones can be used as currency to buy stuff, to use experience to gain attack, defense, increase the damage of your sub-weapon, or a permanent safe gem which you can then grind down when you need it. Yes, she grinds down the bones of her enemies. And let's be honest, Mina will be loving the world of Mortal Kombat, frothing from the mouth. Yes, look at all those femurs. However, like the games that shall not be mentioned or Hollow Knight, your bones are never safe. If you die, Mina loses a spark. And unlike those other games where you just have to get back to the same point you died to recover everything, the spark is now with the enemy that killed you. So you have to kill the prick that killed you to get it back. Die again and run out of sparks before this happens and bye-bye bones. To be honest, whenever a game puts in this mechanic, I get a little bit excited, as that moment when you're racing back to recover your loot without dying makes me clench my buttocks so much that not even Johnny Sins is getting in. To find safety, you can dive into the bonfire, burrows, which I mentioned earlier. Here you'll get your health back, swap your weapons and trinkets, and grind down your safe bones, you sick bitch. These moments are calm, relaxed, as it's just you, and get the hell out of my burrow! Now let me talk about the controversies in this game. The no whipping minigame, no, the mods. Yacht Club games have given the players the keys to the castle, and you can play the game how you want to play. Want to make Mina massive? Do it. Want to make it so she jumps super high? Do it. Want to make the game super easy? Do it. But where, gaming should be a challenge, not an easy mode. Okay, want to make the enemies do more damage? Do it. Want to remove all your burrows for safety? Do it. Want to make the game so ball-crushingly hard the idea of putting your testicles in a vice while watching Love Island seems more appealing? Do it. And for those who says it wrecks the idea of achievements, you touch this feature and say bye-bye to achievements. So if you're the type of player who likes to show off their achievement collection like a strange man in a trench coat at the local park, then stay away from this feature. But as I've seen online, there are always those who are gonna moan. Like, these have a lot of potential, but I still don't understand the resurgent appeal for toggles that destroy the need for any progression through game mastery. What's wrong with pushing through your mistakes and bettering yourself in the progress? Ah, suck it, Grandad. As Dooms say, how you game is up to you and you control the buttons you press. Whatever you do in the privacy of your own home with your mum is your business. Want to make the game easy? Cool. Want to make the game hard? Cool. Did you enjoy the game? Bet you got your presents on Christmas Day and then blame Santa that you got the wrong Power Ranger. But Mummy, Santa got me the Red Ranger when I wanted the pig one to shove up my...
Wee, look at me. I am Minazilla. You cannot hurt me, peasants.
Now let's get back to this modifications here. What? No Lara Croft nude mod? 5 out of 10. Hang on, no boob enhancement mod? 3 out of 10. This is ridiculous. I want all my characters Tifa Lockhart style. Hang on, mice have 10 nipples. I want 5 pairs of Tifa Lockharts. 0 out of 10. This game also has a new game plus, each time stacking a new rule to make the game more devilish than before. I'm not going to spoil this for you, but my word, the game gets insane. Pretty quickly. Well, after each playthrough. I'm going to have one slight gripe here, that there's no map. Now, the world is so big, and knowing where you are in relation to everything else can be a bit helpful when I'm trying to work out where to go next. However, the developers believe that the reason there's no map included is because they want you to learn the world, which I can agree with to an extent, because you're looking about 20 to 30 hours in your first playthrough, and then add a lot more hours when you take in New Game Plus in consideration. And didn't mention all this is for $19.99. So who is the target audience of this game? Everyone! In reality, everyone who played old school Zelda and the Fan of the Soul games will have no problem jumping in. Yacht Club Games proved back in 2014 with Shovel Knight that the retro art style has a lot of appeal, selling over 2 million copies in its lifetime and winning multiple awards including the Best Indie Game at that year's Game Awards. I also think you sickos who like to complete video games with just your tongue or a dance mat will get a kick out of this. Could Mina the Hollower achieve the same amount of success as Shovel Knight? Yes, I can't see why not. The quality is indeed there, and in reality, you f***ing ruined Zelda for me. 0 out of 10. On a serious note, Mina the Hollower is an incredible game, which takes its influences and wears them like a badge of honour, while still providing the player with an incredible time. I don't actually feel like I'm playing The Legend of Zelda when I play this, although the aesthetic is everywhere. I do feel Mina as her own character. I'm going to make 3 predictions here. 1. This game is going to sell over 2 million copies with ease. 2. I can see Mina for Smash becoming a thing, and I can also see this doing very well at this year's Game Awards. This is becoming one of my favourite games of the year, and the more I play it, I can see it burrowing its way into my top 10 games of all time, which is a bold thing considering how many games I have to play now. And if you are going to ask me for my real score, it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's a masterpiece. It's a fantastic game that they've put together with so much passion and care, and there's so many things for you to explore. The game feels fantastic to play. If you die, it feels like it's your fault. The music is incredible, and I love Mina. I love her personality, and I love the world I'm jumping into. Mina the Hollower stands on the same night as Silksong, as it has no right to be as good as it is for just $19.99. I'll keep banging on about that because I think that's absolutely ridiculous price considering we're getting GTA coming out for the price of $2 million. I want to once again thank Yacht Club Games for providing me a copy of the game, but if you want to check out more stupidity, listen to this week's episode of the podcast, where we're going to be covering Mina the Hollower, and also have an interview with Yacht Club Game members Nick Wozniak and David Gelangelo. Until then, I'll see everyone soon in a few days when we get back to our normal scheduling. You all take care of yourself. My name's been Danny. Follow your dreams.